taking shots at the enemy. I'm gonna make it to the top, leave a legacy. If I got something to say, you better let me speak. Turn it up a new degree, bitch, you ain't seen anything. I pop off with the new rock, electronic, blow the sonic roof up. I'm too honest when I take a few shots. They're too toxic, need to take the noose off. And you cannot save me, 'cause I don't need saving. It's everything I've been chasing, all here for the taking. Don't wanna test your luck with me, I think I've had enough disease. I'm sick of all the bad thoughts, people who are half-nots.
You are not as tough as
I'm back, you know that I never left. I got tracks and some music that you never guess. I don't slack, don't lose, learn your lesson yet. When I get to choose what I do, I'm like a weapon. I'm not sharp as many, but got heart. I'm ready to change scars to envy, to win large and plenty. I like to play fast, never change back. Calling out, I'll pay back, 'cause I'm great at that. Oh, you cannot save me, 'cause I don't need saving. It's everything I've been chasing, all here for the taking. Don't wanna test your luck with me, I think I've had enough disease. I'm sick of all the bad thoughts, people who are half-nots.
you are not as tough as
Don't wanna test your luck with me, I think I've had enough disease. I'm sick of all the bad thoughts, people who are half-nots, who are not as tough as me. Don't wanna test your luck with me, I think I've had enough disease. I'm sick of all the bad thoughts, people who are half-nots, who are not as tough as me. Ain't no motherfucker in this world could do it like me. Open up your eyes and insert a little rising. You don't have to love me, you don't have to like me. Got enough love in myself, in my psyche. You should have the same in your brain nightly. If you wanna taste, bitch, you can fucking try me. If you wanna hate, bitch, you know where to find me. And if you're going hate this, you can fucking bite me. I'll be cruising in my lane fast, call it high speed. I've been working hard, yeah, I've been working nightly. If you think you'll win, ha, not fucking likely. I be taking shots, yeah, cold-blooded, icy. Watching numbers grow is what I call sightseeing. In the front row, run it up when they hype me. The following grows, they know how to ignite me. Call me CEO, I've been running shit right, see. And I ain't playing games, I create my own lane, making pleasure out of pain, turning losses into gains. I'm the boss, I'm making change. I've been rocking this exchange, popping off and risking things. Gonna make a fucking name, I just wanna be famous. But I don't want that cheap fame, no I'm not that vain. I just wanna be greatness. 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 Ain't no motherfucker in this world could do it like me. Open up your eyes and insert a little rising. You don't have to love me, you don't have to like me. Got enough love in myself, in my psyche. You should have the same in your brain nightly. If you wanna taste, bitch, you can fucking try me. If you wanna hate, bitch, you know where to find me. And if you're going hate this, you can fucking bite me. Okay, I'm going off every chance I get. I don't really take a loss, well, I'll admit. That's why I'll make it to the top, yeah, I commit. And no, I'm never getting lost, I get after it. Investing in my own stock, cause it's faster than any crypto hits go, let me spend. Everything that you see is something I invent. And it's only a percent. I'm gonna take shots. If I miss, oh, forget it. I'll take a fat loss just to learn all that's in it. I'm taking snapshots, learning how to fall and get it. I'm getting back up, always stand tall, don't sweat it. I never back up, I don't miss a thing or regret it. I'm always learning, you could call me academic. I'm always working, never been apathetic. Bad energy is like a poison, needs some antiseptic. Ain't no motherfucker in this
losing time, I'm fading fast. I just wanna make it last. Try to let go of the past. I close my eyes, embrace the blast. Sleepless nights and headaches stack. Restlessness to hell and back. What's my purpose? What do I grab? A slippery surface, a heart attack. And sometimes you just gotta believe there's something that'll give you relief. There's something that'll have what you need, what you need. We're broken, it's tragic, we're not all elastic, but maybe there's magic. Believe you could have it, and I know of sadness, the anxious and panic, the infinite vastness of all that is blackness. Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 yo, go, go, go. Hustle hard, hustle every single day. I'll be making moves till I'm buried in my grave. To the system, I don't wanna be a slave. I've been doing shit my way, or the highway. And in the driveway is a nice range. Cause I grind through the climb, I invite pain. You'll never hear me, bitch, nah, I don't complain. Just gotta flip the switch and you can go and obtain anything you want, anything you need. Your mind's got the key ingredient, it's belief. They'll deceive with the negativity, but I just slide right by that energy. Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 go. You got a mind, but even that could change. You could flip the gray matter like some batter in your brain. That's why I say, fake it till you make it A. And if you play that game, then you just might make a change. Rearrange all the bad to okay. Take the worst thoughts saying, turn them to a game. Take the best thoughts saying, put them on display. On repeat in your brain till you're feeling no more pain. Never slow yourself down, you can do some more. Push past all the pain and you'll find a door. Open it up and finally explore everything that you thought you could never do before. And even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 go. Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 yo, go, go, go. Hustle hard, hustle every single day. I'll be making moves till I'm buried in my grave. To the system, I don't wanna be a slave. I've been doing shit my way, or the highway. And in the driveway is a nice range. Cause I grind through the climb, I invite pain. You'll never hear me, bitch, nah, I don't complain. Just gotta flip the switch and you can go and obtain anything you want, anything you need. Your mind's got the key ingredient, it's belief. They'll deceive with the negativity, but I just slide right by that energy. Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 go. You got a mind, but even that could change. You could flip the gray matter like some batter in your brain. That's why I say, fake it till you make it A. And if you play that game, then you just might make a change. Rearrange all the bad to okay. Take the worst thoughts saying, turn them to a game. Take the best thoughts saying, put them on display. On repeat in your brain till you're feeling no more pain. Never slow yourself down, you can do some more. Push past all the pain and you'll find a door. Open it up and finally explore everything that you thought you could never do before. And even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 go.
Hello and welcome to the season opener of the Smite Draft League. I'm Anthony and I have with me KingFsher.
Yes, hello everybody. Sorry we're getting started a little bit late. One of the teams did have to forfeit match 1, unfortunately. But we are still here, week 1, day number 1 of the official season here for Smite Draft League. And how excited are you?
I am ecstatic. The storylines, the moments, the memories, everything's right in front of us waiting to go. And all we need is just the start screen and we're there. It's here.
There we are. And jumping right into bans, Yu Huang and Kabrak taken out from the Order side team. That strikes me as a little odd. Both of those gods were two of the ones seen in the bonus update. They both got pretty big damage decreases, but I guess still good enough to warrant a ban.
Yeah, and it's always tough with trying to, you practice and you get your scrims in and you work on your game plans and then, patches hit and trying to work around it. You always run into that toughness of, do we stick with our plan or do we have to rework our game plan around the updates?
Yeah, and I think pretty intelligently they are going to stick with their plan. Obviously, this is week 1. They haven't seen the other teams before. Not even we've seen all the teams. But it's going to be a Cupid top pick. He had a small nerf to his minion damage, but still, I think, a really strong ADC.
And we do see the Guan Yu and the Charybdis being locked in. What are your thoughts on that?
I like the Charybdis a lot, especially into Cupid. I think she can avoid his Fields of Love extremely easily in the Heart Bomb too. The Guan Yu, I'm not sure about. I really like as a pick, but I don't know if they necessarily had to go this high up. I don't know. What are your thoughts on that? Do you like the top 3 Guan Yu, or would you rather they waited?
It always depends on me, and it's very easy to say it comes down to the implementation and the effect and the impact it has on the game. But Guan Yu for me has always been a power pick. A Guan Yu can easily turn the tides of a game with well-placed ultimates. That healing is never anything to forget exists. As we see the Fenrir getting locked in, followed by a hovered Cthulhu, and it's going to get locked in too.
Yeah, 2 picks I was not expecting. I guess they really are sticking with their guns here week 1. I can't even remember the last time I've seen a Fenrir. Cthulhu, though, is a pick that I'm really surprised we don't see more often. I think he does such a good job late game of kind of managing team fights. So maybe giving a little bit of that draft away, the Order side team kind of wanting to take this late.
Yeah, you have to be ever aware and always present of a Cthulhu's map presence and the dominance that he presides over the game.
Yeah, speaking of map presence though, Atlas, a really strong support pick that I'm kind of surprised we don't see much more often. I know he was a really big mainstay in ban phases for a while, but kind of just went out the back door for no real reason. A couple small nerfs, but insane CC, and they're going to come away with a steal here for Dracull, who loves to play that pick.
And we do see a Khepri and a Fafnir band coming out, so they're targeting at the supports, while on the other side, we see an emphasis on the assassins here at the end with a Nemesis and an Awilix band.
Yeah, I really like that Awilix band. She got a pretty big buff on this last patch. She got some more damage, and I believe, yeah, she got cooldown on her ultimate too, especially into this pick. Yeah, good band. I like it.
Yeah, overall, and I was actually just about to say the Khepri and the Fafnir, you can't really use it to set the tone for our game here, but it brings me back to the Bring Your Own Team tournament we had recently, and Fafnir and Khepri were both very impactful picks.
Yeah, they were. Now, I would just love if that was a Fenrir support, but I simply don't think that's the case, so I think probably some smart bans there. Really dominant picks, and I love seeing Khepri do super well. I think he's such a unique god, and he just kind of fluctuates a lot in and out of meta, but glad he's in a really good place balance-wise right now.
Absolutely. So, tell me, what do you want to see come out from the rest of these drafts on either side? What are you hunting for here?
If I'm on this Chaos side, I think the biggest issue right now is going to be the Cupid. The Fenrir, you have ways of dealing with their beads. Cthulhu, you can get away from, but Cupid is a pick that can absolutely run the game if you don't shut him down. Neja is a great idea for that. He recently got Sash damage upgraded, a smaller cooldown, and a lot more protections on his ultimate. So he can go in with that Windfire Wheels and do a lot of damage to that Cupid if he doesn't play careful.
Yeah, very easy to hunt down a Cupid with a Naja, as we see the Vulcan getting locked in. Meatballs all around.
Yeah, a little bit of a surprising one for me. Vulcan, not really a god I would think of as really being top in the meta, especially seeing 0 mid bans, except for Yu Huang. But I guess they do know what they're doing over there. Certainly could be a really powerful pick if it's played correctly.
Yeah, absolutely, and maybe I'm a little bit weird, but I'd like to see a silly bit of a shake and bake play between the Fenrir and the Ganesh, but I'm a stickler for dumb things like that.
I love it. But I mean, looking at the ult here specifically, this order side should have a massive advantage in late game whenever they can group as 5. Those are 5 really, really oppressing ultimates to an entire team.
Yeah, it's going to be very difficult to find good positioning on that, because what do? Do you get close and you find yourself trapped in by Ganesh and Cthulhu, or do you stay far away and now you're at the mercy of Vulcan?
Yeah, and if I'm this Chaos side team, I really want to pick in a mid laner that can kind of get really aggressive early. Vulcan, I don't think is incredibly aggro super on, but I don't see a lot of Vulcan. I might be wrong, I don't know how they play it. But I think looking at this team comp, they need this early lead if they really want to swing an advantage come late game.
Yeah, it's very frightening fighting a Vulcan from behind. You got to really push them down as the Scylla gets locked in. A little bit of Skyla. What do you think about that as we end up here?
Probably not as early game as I would have liked, but that is going to do really well if they can get to late. It has so much damage when they get their full build online, hit level 20, that it can shut down a lot of this aggression before it starts.
And we'll see if that aggression is enough. We're going to see you in the game.
Silhouettes of you are like a taunt. Never really know just what you want. With you I don't ever feel calm. I can feel the sweat inside my palms. Play with me like cats and a string.
You don't understand the pain it brings. You don't ever wanna give me wings. You don't ever wanna set me free. You know I'm addicted to you, and it's twisted. You've been gifted with the evil voodoo. Got me coming back for more, even when I've been screwed. Dolls full of pins, pierce my heart straight through. I got issues in my head. I like you in my bed, but you keep me on red. Oh, everything is like a test. I better not text or I'll come off desperate.
But if I lay down and I play dead and I stay dead, baby, you'll get sick of being the monster out of my head, under my bed, thinking something out of my nightmares, standing right there. But if I lay down and I play dead and I stay dead, then will you get bored of killing me?
So if I play dead, will you regret everything that you did, that you said? I don't think you understand what you're doing, and my heart's black and blue from the bruising. I feel like when I'm with you I'm losing. I feel like you think that this amusing, sitting there gaslighting and confusing. Was it me? Is it me? Am I deluded? I'm the one who's always sorry, the conclusion. Even though I offer all of the solutions, I wish you loved me like I love you, it's stupid. When I'm alone with you I never feel lucid. I wish I wasn't struck by Cupid. I wish when I first saw you I knew this. When I'm with you I feel so useless. I feel diluted, my heart's been wounded. Silhouettes of you are like a taunt. Never really know just what you want. With you I don't ever feel calm. I can feel the sweat inside my palms. Play with me like cats and a string. You don't understand the pain it brings. You don't ever wanna give me wings. You don't ever wanna set me free.
But if I lay down and I play dead and I stay dead, baby, you'll get sick of being the monster out of my head, under my bed, thinking something out of my nightmares, standing right there. But if I lay down and I play dead and I stay dead, then will you get bored of killing me? And 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 will you get bored of killing me?
Hey man, how the hell you doing? I've been just fine, living life with the noose and in my mind, all I hear is music. Watching your mouth move, damn you look stupid. I feel like everyone's a stranger. Small talk with your narcissistic neighbor. She's real hot, but they said to never date her. I agree, but you did and I hate her. You want it?
It is time for the first game. Over on the order sign, we've got Unchained, Chaos' Sugar Babies, who did have to forfeit game one. I'm Anthony. I've got KingFsher with me. Are you ready?
I am ready. And one thing I want to talk about before we start here, we did have two transactions pretty recently. I think one was today where Trollacadimy, the Sugar Baby solo, was picked up, and then DLC, the Cupid for Unchained, was added. So I'm going to be keeping my eyes on both of these players, seeing how they're gelling with the teams. For being on them for about 24 hours, it should be interesting to see.
Yeah, trying to create synergy going off day one with a new team is that's a scary thought for me. But regardless, let's do it. We're starting off with our jungle buffs here. I'm excited.
Yeah, I am too, and I'm really excited to see how these teams play. I think both the drafts should function really differently. But do you think Sugar Babies have the right team comp? Obviously, starting down 1-0. If they get off to a good start, do you think they can run with it and force us to game 3?
I think there was definitely more pressure going the way of Sugar Babies to have a good draft because of that game disadvantage. But I am concerned for them because, like we were talking about during the picks and bans, Unchained has a strong late game team fight draft, and Sugar Babies needs to keep that in mind come later in the game.
Definitely do, and if it's me, I'm looking at Mental Depressed and Soulzc to kind of carry this one. I think Scylla and Neja are two picks that can absolutely go off in any game, any state. So in my mind, if they're doing good, I think Sugar Babies can definitely take it. We've been seeing this a lot lately. Junglers really favoring starting over here by solo instead of going to mid.
Yeah, it brings me back to the olden days of camping the solo lane and making sure that they were behind the entire time if you wanted any chance of winning.
Yeah, definitely a good strategy with that Cthulhu. Should be a lot harder for him to farm, especially Guan Yu with that Warrior's Axe. Going to have a lot more sustain in this laning phase. But Interceptor going over to the Chaos duo. Huh.
Yeah, interesting to see that matchup over in the solo. I don't think we're going to see much boxing as we get a little bit of pressure out in duo lane. Not too much to speak about quite yet. But I kind of... Yeah, like you said, I don't think we're going to see much of a bloodbath over in the solo lane unless there's a lot of ganks coming out. Atlas getting a bit poked out. Cupid's going to get the dash in, but Charybdis is saying none of that, and now Cupid finds himself in a bad spot. Oh, and the shell comes out from Ganesh the way of steel. Is it going to be enough to save the Cupid? He's backpedaling. He's going to get away. Dangerous little engagement there, and now the Fenrir's poking around.
Yeah, I think Wisely gonna stay in the jungle, and I love that from Dragonlordcat. One of the ones we talked about just joining the team, showing no hesitation at all. Really good job by Steel coming in, making sure he stays alive. I played with Dragonlordcat before. He's so calm on comms. He's really precise with what he wants to do. So I'm really glad to see him getting involved early here for this Unchained team.
Yeah, I have to imagine it'd be pretty difficult to compete in a setting like this with somebody going Modern Warfare 2 in your ears. As we have Neja sneaking over to the duo. Will they be caught out the sash on the Cupid? And the silence preventing the ring toss at the moment, and it's going to miss, but now Ganesh might be a sacrifice. One auto away, but it's going to be enough. It's going to get picked up by the Charybdis. First blood goes the way of Sugar Babies.
Yeah, and that's unfortunate if you're on the side of Unchained there. Probably not the start you want to see. But I think kind of good that that kill went on to the Charybdis, because now Neja gave up a lot for that rotate just to get an assist, as we see Fenrir go help with the blue buff, going to get his back camps and his speed a lot quicker. So I think a Giant Dog should tick up to level 4 before Neja does. Maybe put a little pressure on mid.
Yeah, and that's one of the toughest things about committing to those ganks, is you need to have an almost omnipotent map view and idea of what's going on across the map if you want any chance of the gank even being worth it. You know, kills don't mean everything in games like this.
They certainly do not. XP is definitely king, I think, in staying ahead in levels, as speaking of levels, Guan Yu gets to level 5 really quick. Guess he has been out farming that Cthulhu a little.
Yeah, it's like we talked about. The Guan Yu definitely has a bit of a pressure advantage in the lane, in the sense that there's not going to be any boxing coming out of the Cthulhu. I'd be very shocked to see it.
Yeah, I'm expecting to see that Cthulhu on his tower the whole game. Then looking at the builds here, in mid, we did see that recent flat penetration patch. Here are the Magus, Spiridesso, Divine Ruin, all going up to 15 penetration. But we're still seeing mages kind of favor the old starts with the percent pen up first, and I think that's a Book of Thought from the Scylla. That is not one I see often.
Yeah, that was starting to catch my eye too, and ooh, as we see the Fenrir poking around, a lot of consistent gazes being put upon by the junglers into the dual lane, going on the Atlas, but everybody's pretty healthy. The Ganesh is going to dash into the air, and ultimately, nothing's going to come from it quite yet. But here comes Neja, and the elephant might be caught out. There's the sash. Ganesh trying to get away. The shell. And the follow-up on the dash is going to probably be enough to pick up the Ganesh. The Charybdis will get the final kill, but a really good play there. That was impressive.
Yeah, that was really good play by Sugar Babies, and I think Mental Depressed on that Neja to kind of catch what was happening and make that quick rotation over. Unfortunately for Giant Dog, was not level 5 yet. I feel like Fenrir really doesn't have a lot of kill pressure until he does get that Ragnarok ultimate. Really not a ton of lockdown, relying on a leap for stun that's really easy to see.
Yeah, absolutely. And I gotta say, I'm impressed. We may just be in the early portions here, but a reminder, Sugar Babies is down 1-0 due to having to forfeit the first game. So being able to come out at a disadvantage like that, having less time to prepare mentally, but still getting those first couple kills is a really good sign for them going forward.
Yeah, I think definitely can chalk part of that up to the draft. Speaking of draft, look at the Guan Yu, the Fey Blessed Hoops. That is one of my favorite items in the game. I love that item, and I'm so glad to finally see somebody use it.
Yeah, you know, it kind of reminds me as we're going to get the Fenrir jumping in, Ragnarok pulling him back to the homies, but it's going to be enough to pick up the kill on Atlas. Not quite as Naja's here and says back off. And Vulcan's going to take out the wave! What a kill on the wave!
Very impressive. I do like that about Vulcan. I think him and Agni are really the only two characters I think of, except maybe Hou-Yi, that you kind of just drop your ult on the wave and really don't feel bad about it.
Exactly. I was just going to mention the Hou-Yi. There's nothing like being in duel and losing as Hou-Yi, but still ulting that wave and getting the advantage.
I mean, hey, minions are as big a threat as gods sometime. But yeah, going back to the Bales, also that mail renewal from the Atlas. This is a start we've been seeing a lot of lately for a few months now. Less protections, and the aura isn't quite as nice as having that Gauntlet of Thebes, but the heal really valuable. We saw him walk out of that fight at basically full health, and a really good invade from that Naja.
Yeah, I think that item definitely favors the aggression. Speaking of aggression, Cthulhu having to backpedal a little bit. That boxing we were talking about almost caught up with the Cthulhu. But yeah, I think mail renewal really benefits aggression.
Yeah, and unfortunate timing for that Cthulhu just to use that tower teleport, like, within the last minute or so, too, so he really did not have a lot of time there. I'm kind of surprised. I thought we might see Guan Yu ultimate there with no beads. Might have been a dead Squid Man under tower, but I like playing safe here from Trollacademy.
As the Vulcan's going to get caught out, takes a good chunk of damage, but he's able to walk away. And he still has purification beads.
Yeah, and again, no ult from Scylla or Atlas. Maybe Sugar Baby's missing a few kills here, but safe is better than sorry. I think it always goes back to that. Better to save life than risk it.
As the Ragnarok pull onto Naja, but Fenrir is going to pick up Mental Depressed, uses the purification beads, and retreats. Not enough damage to kill just yet. He's going to make it out. Nice pickup there by Giant Dog.
Yeah, really good play by Giant Dog. I'm not going to lie, I thought he was dead the minute he pressed 4. But really solid play, and Atlas a little bit late on that pull to get him out of the leaps. A really good job there by Fenrir, answering one back. That's really going to slow this Naja down.
Yeah, being able to go in between a team like that and pick up a kill on the Naja was very impressive to watch.
Yeah, and did get the Atlas ult out too, so that's not going to be around for the next fight. Ganesh, trouble again. The blue team do have some wards pretty high though, and with Vulcan here, I think they should be pretty safe.
Yeah, definitely. And you know, I was just going to say with the saving of that purification beads, as we just mentioned with the Atlas ult being down, Vulcan having purification beads, if we do get a team fight here in the near future, those are a couple things to look out for.
Definitely are, and I don't know how much of a team fight we will see early. The ADCs and solo lane is to be expected, but sometimes we can see ADCs rotate out early, kind of get a little more involved, but these two definitely seem like they want to stay in lane, just farm. I love that as an ADC main, gotta get to level 20 fast.
Yeah, I definitely like that. That's very contrary to what we were seeing in the Bring Your Own Team tournament.
Yeah, and I think some of that might be chalked up to chemistry. Like, obviously, week one here and bringing your own team. Ooh,
Blink from the Naja onto the Vulcan, and there's the purification beads that were saved, and the Fenrir is going to try to return the favor and gets onto the Naja. There's the Ragnarok, pulls him out of the pillars. Vulcan picks up the kill.
Okay, I thought that was really odd carrying him away from the pillars, but I guess just trying to give kill credit over to Scooby Daddy Doo. That is a really fun name to say.
Absolutely. And I gotta say, I like how that turned out. Charybdis might get caught out here, but just in the nick of time, might get away. Fenrir's on the hunt, though, and here's Ganesh around the corner. The ult might be enough to stall. There's the Fields of Love. Backed into a corner. Charybdis is still alive. The Scylla kill gets picked up. That was an incredible turn of events there for the Scylla, arriving at just the perfect time as they're chasing down the Ganesh. And there it is. That's a double kill going the way of Soulzc. Can Cupid be the third? Vulcan's gonna ult from over the wall, but it's gonna find nobody home. But it might just be enough to get Cupid away.
Well, not quite. Nobody home did hit the archers, but yeah, I like that Vulcan ult scattered Atlas and Scylla onto opposite sides, so not really much hope of comboing up their abilities. And really good job by that Scylla rotating over, made it there way before Vulcan did, and helped to clean up those kills. Also, credit to Nyko staying alive in that camp.
I was just gonna say that. Yeah, that was impressive. For a second, I thought Charybdis was gonna get out of there alive.
I did too. Ganesh just waiting to be sure she was out of that monster form before firing that. I can't even think of the name of that ability, whatever his line is.
Yeah, every time I try to think of abilities, I start just saying circles, so I tend to back out of it.
Well, it is a pretty big circle he sends down that line. But now, I think the question kind of folds to where do they go from here? I know in the Conquest tournament, we did see a lot of really early objective play. Kind of
did.
looks in contrast to that here. I mean, 11 minutes in, I've seen some big fights, but no real attempt to go for objectives, not even any onto the Scorpions, which I think are normally a really early target.
Yeah, there's been a really good team play so far. The rotations, honestly, from both sides have been very impressive.
Oh, but here might be... Where's Cthulhu going into mid? This might be it.
He's going to get up behind. He's going to dash in, and not too much to get picked up. Might be making a Gold Fury play out of this?
They might also be looking at Charybdis caught way out of position. No, wisely going to go for the Gold Fury. Guan Yu's rotating over. It's going to take him a while, though.
Yeah, and here comes Sugar Babies. Dynamic Pillars go out. Cthulhu's chasing down the Nasha, but everybody's getting spread out a bit. Charybdis starting to pick up some damage. Here comes the Scylla. Oh, it's going to be good onto DLC in the back. It's going to miss on the Fenrir, but doesn't matter. Scooby-Doo picks up the kill. Soul's going to get a double kill on the Giant Dog. And there's fights breaking out in two different spots at once. Cthulhu's going to go up into the ultimate. Vulcan trying to stay alive. The Sash is going to be good as Dracull picks up the other kill. What a fight from Sugar Babies, as the only one left standing is the Ganesh.
Yeah, no Dharmic Pillars either. Not going to have much chance at stealing this Gold Fury. And as great of a fight that was from Sugar Babies, Unchained maybe a little bit discombobulated on that fight. They seem to have different targets. The Ganesh and Cthulhu both went onto the Neja. Everybody else really collapsed on that Charybdis hard. But again, Charybdis staying alive long enough to buy her team time, kind of get the kill and get over. Really good play there from Sugar Babies.
Yeah, I definitely think the split is the reason that fight did not go the way of Unchained. Because at the beginning, it almost seemed like they had the advantage, but them splitting up like that and then leaving room for that Scylla to do so much damage, as well as the Charybdis, was just rough. And then at the end, you left everybody open to the Naja that's getting a jump on everybody, kind of free of charge.
Yeah, Naja definitely kind of had his way in that fight. But now, Pyromancer and Gold Fury go over to Sugar Babies, and almost 5k in the lead at 12 minutes. This is not the start you want to see if you're Unchained. But in all fairness, I think, like we identified, much more of a late-game team. The second they start to get those ultimates working together and get their target prioritization straight, I think they really have a chance at staying in this one, despite the disadvantage.
And as I learned from you in that Conquest tournament, you are a stickler for interesting builds. You seeing anything that piques your interest so far?
I mean, looking at the builds, I think not especially. The only one that kind of interests me would be the Executioner here on Cupid. Not really one I'm quite used to seeing. I'd imagine that's going to go into the one where it marks him. I think that's Ferocity. Heavy Executioner did get a buff, allows more attack speed, but on Cupid, you don't want 1.9. I'm pretty sure you want the whole 2.5. So it'll be interesting to see where he builds his build from here.
Absolutely. And something else I did notice is, thank goodness, Unchained's remembering the anti-heal. A lot of damage from Charybdis on Cupid, and Cupid kind of was just minding his own business under his tower, and all of a sudden half his health was gone.
Yeah, so drawback, Charybdis really shreds through that minion wave, and it's not something you really think about till you realize, oh, hey, half my health is gone. Oh, yeah, that's right. She shoots her minions. I know I forget it almost every time. Can't blame DLC there for forgetting it either, but that is a massive chunk of damage. Without the Aussie like she has, no real way to recoup that, other than the hearts.
And Fenrir's a little low in mid lane. He had a gank from, seems like the back there, then underneath the tier 1, and it kind of put him in a bad position. He's going to have to leave this fight. Maybe look to go heal up from some camps in the back, and Vulcan's going to, I think he got the archers on that. Very impressive. Scylla gets some good damage on Ganesh. It's going to have to use the shell. That's a big loss.
Yeah, not what you like to see. Luckily, though, that shell should be up before the next, I would say, objective team fight. I don't think they can go for this Fire Giant at 15 minutes, so should have it for the next big fight when they need it. Gotta think that Vulcan maybe thought they were going to back a little bit further up than they did. Unfortunate to see, but it's on a really short cooldown. He already has a little bit of CDR. So, and already a quarter of the way. Ooh, that's
that
a
was
rough
close.
From the Neja.
That was close for Giant Dog. Might be counting his lives there.
Yeah, he still has a blink too. Ooh,
he's gonna go in on the Naja, and the ult's gonna come in response. And Guan Yu's here, and Mental Depress is gonna pick up the kill on Giant Dog. Meanwhile, over in the mid lane, Vulcan's losing quite a bit of health to the Scylla.
And can we talk about that timing? Guan Yu stunned him the second he got down from the Windfire wheels. Really good combo there from the Sugar Babies.
And the
Fenrir
blink,
should
the
move.
sash, the Aegis! Vulcan gets to walk away.
Wow, a lot of utility extended there for the Vulcan. Scooby-Doo definitely gonna have to be careful how he plays this one, and then Neja picking the target so well and doing a really good job getting as much utility out as possible.
For sure. And you know, something I've noticed so far that if there had to be something I critiqued, the Ganesh is not picking up a lot of farm as the Cupid's going to get pressured underneath that tier 1, going to be able to dash away. But the Ganesh has just kind of... There's been a lot of rotations, and I've noticed the Ganesh keeps getting put out of position in these team fights, so there's a big lack of farm going that way so far.
Yeah, and I think a little bit of that might go to the ways team is playing. I think the Sugar Babies have been making a lot more rotations, like you said, driving a lot more aggression. The Ganesh is kind of being pulled every direction. Everywhere it needs that Dharmic Pillars, it needs a shell. There's been a lot of focus on different lanes. I'd imagine a lot harder for him to get farm than this Atlas, who's kind of driving some of the aggression here.
Yeah, for sure. And that's always kind of something, even in the most casual game, that you really have to look for, is looking out for that pressure. And speaking of pressure, Guan Yu having to use his ultimate here, as there's some pressure coming out in the solo lane. Neja and Ganesh coming over to see what's going on.
Yeah, and if I'm Unchained, I really like that play. Guan Yu ultimate is really good, CC immunity, and a massive stun. I think that circle is a lot bigger than people think it is. Ooh, Ganesh. I need to
Once
be careful.
again.
Should walk away though. Oh.
Not sure I like the use there.
Yeah, maybe thought there were more people coming in. I mean, Scylla
that has to
already
be the
level
only
16.
thing.
Yeah, with oh gosh, I'm really blanking on names today. But yeah, Scylla does a lot of damage with the Soul Reaver. That's it. I don't know how I forgot that one. Now Primal Fury being pulled. Wow,
And
they got on it right as it spawned.
Yeah, and it's already down to half, and it doesn't look like there's going to be anybody there in time to challenge it. Cupid might have picked it out, but it's not going to matter because of the secure coming from Soulzc.
Yeah, and now they were on that so fast. Unchained isn't organized enough to do this Pyromancer. They're gonna try it, and I don't know about this call. To be fair,
Yeah,
there's no
I'm not sure I like
kill.
this fight.
They have a chance. I think Wisely just gonna have to concede this one.
Yeah, if I'm Unchained, I'm going back to my camps, but Ganesh might have made that decision too late. Here comes the cavalry charge, as there's the Naja ult, the Guan Yu ult, the Atlas ult, the Scylla crushes out. Nobody's escaping this fight so far, but the Cthulhu ult in response. Ganesh a bit low in the back, Guan Yu trying to get away from the Cthulhu. Another split, Soulzc picks up the kill and steal in the back, and now Cthulhu's all alone. Cupid gets picked up by the Naja. There's the Aegis. He might be able to get away. He's going to fall underneath this tower, but he's just one slight hit away, and there's the final auto to seal the deal.
Yeah, and that was a rough fight there from Unchained. Caught out a little bit in enemy territory.
And we're not done yet as Atlas gets picked up by Cthulhu.
Yeah,
What
good
a fight
answer
that
back.
was.
That's really going to limit what they can do onto this Fire Giant. The Guan Yu is really low health, and his tower teleport down as well. I don't think they can go for this Fire Giant, unfortunately.
No,
Get
and
Pyro.
you know what I did see that fight that we talked about earlier, and once again, you can chalk it up to many things, but Unchained's positioning as a team there was a bit spread out. Once again, we saw that Cthulhu kind of go off on his own adventures, which isn't necessarily a bad thing every time, but I feel like so far for these fights with Unchained, that's kind of been a big part of their downfall.
Yeah, I mean, gotta give them a little bit of benefit of the doubt. I think they were caught very off guard there. Sugar
Absolutely.
Babies did rotate extremely fast. I think the one positive thing to pull from that Cthulhu made 3 members of Sugar Babies just run in terror, and he was
did.
able to get out safely. If they had their full team there, I think really could have capitalized on, I believe it was the Neja and the Atlas, who were still trying to dive the front line.
Yeah, and you know, you called it in picks and bans that this Cthulhu could be impactful, and so far it definitely has.
Yeah, and he's going to have to be a lot more impactful.
He's
Probably
keeping
not
Unchained
at
in
the
it.
game state. Yeah, not at the game state they want to be. But
No.
just because of their picks, I don't think we can count them out quite yet.
No, and while things are looking bad, we are at a 10,000 gold lead and not too far behind in experience. I don't think it's completely gone for Unchained. I don't think it's too late to regroup and figure it out. I just think these decisions need to start coming quickly if they want to turn things around.
Yeah, definitely do. Ooh, and Fenrir forced to use the beads to escape there, and that, not the way to turn it around as focus is being put onto the Fire Giant now.
Yeah, they're gonna probably use that beat since they're gonna pick up the Vulcan. He just gets deleted by Soulzc over in mid.
Wow, and that is unfortunate.
And now Cthulhu might get caught out too. He's gonna have to pop his ultimate. He's down to no HP. Soulzc picks him up for a double kill. And now Unchained just gotta retreat. And the Naja blink, Sash is gonna miss. Fenrir's gonna get away. Another fight goes the way of Sugar Babies.
Yeah, I think, luckily for Unchained, they only lose 2 members though. It sounds like a horrible thing, but very easily could have got wiped there. But I do think most of the towers on the map are going to fall here. 4 strong, still all sitting at full health. Again, still ults Fire Giant. Didn't really need to, but I don't think there's any harm. And again, still using the Dharmic Pillars, I did not see where those went down. Maybe in the backline to peel that Naja off, do you think?
Yeah, I didn't see them go down either. It's funny you say that. I was actually going to ask you the same question, but yeah, overall, I think that was just a bit of a sporadic and scattered fight from Unchained that could all be stemmed from that first initial beads losses. They're going to storm underneath the Phoenix, and Vulcan, I don't think Vulcan expected the aggression. He's going to get deleted and picked up by Mental Depressed. The Ragnarok onto Atlas, though, brings him in the back, and DLC is going to pick up that kill as the fight for Phoenix rages on.
Good return kill now. Cthulhu left without his ult though should fall, and he does to Charybdis.
Nico's going to pick up that kill. The dash onto Scylla, but it doesn't matter as Charybdis going to get the kill on the Giant Dog. And once again, a fight's gone the way of Sugar Babies. This time it costs them the Phoenix, and it might cost them more if they can't back up.
Yeah, and Steel does have Dharmic Pillars. It can still defend this one, but has to bail Cupid out. It's going to keep them alive for the time being.
That might have just been enough to keep Cupid alive, as it did save the aggression from the Naja, but they're going to have to hang around. Naja gets the Sash and picks up Steel, and now it's just up to Cupid to defend with his Titan at about half health. And yeah, might not be enough. He's going to get away with 1 HP, but it doesn't matter. The ult's going to pick up the kill. Game 1.
Yeah, and what a tie that was. That was a really good game by Sugar Babies. I think we identified it on the desk pretty well. Just raw aggression from minute number 1 kept them in that game and kept them in a long time. Never really seemed to be behind it all, and were able to push the pace really, really well.
Absolutely. And, you know, I have to give credit where credit is due. They came in already down a game, and we're set back at even here.
Yeah, and I think that takes a lot of mental strength to kind of not let that affect you, not let it mess up your game plan. And 8-0-3 on the Scylla, Soulzc did an incredible job staying alive that game, and the Killing Blows saw so many resets of Scylla's ultimate.
So just to wrap up game 1 here, who are you target banning? Who are you getting rid of next game if you are Unchained?
I don't think it's as much getting rid of players, because despite the gods we saw, there was a lot of mechanical, just really solid plays from them. If I'm this order side team, I'm just looking to draft maybe not a better team comp, but one that plays better. Did not have enough early game pressure to kind of stop them, and they really paid for it once the ball started rolling.
Well, we are going to go see. We'll be right back with game number 3, and we'll see who takes this set to start off our season. Down but not out, Sugar Babies comes back and ties it up 1-1. We'll be right back on Smite Draft League.
taking shots at the enemy. I'm gonna make it to the top, leave a legacy. If I got something to say, you better let me speak. Turn it up a new degree, bitch, you ain't seen anything. I pop off with the new rock, electronic, blow the sonic roof up. I'm too honest when I take a few shots. They're too toxic, need to take the noose off. And you cannot save me, 'cause I don't need saving. It's everything I've been chasing, all here for the taking. Don't wanna test your luck with me, I think I've had enough disease. I'm sick of all the bad thoughts, people who are half-nots.
You were not as tough as.
I'm back, you know that I never left. I got tracks and some music that you never guessed. I don't slack, don't lose, learn your lesson yet. When I get to choose what I do, I'm like a weapon. I'm not sharp as many, but got heart. I'm ready to change scars to envy, to win large and plenty. I like to play fast, never change back. Calling out, I'll pay back, 'cause I'm great at that. Oh, you cannot save me, 'cause I don't need saving. It's everything I've been chasing, all here for the taking. Don't wanna test your luck with me, I think I've had enough disease. I'm sick of all the bad thoughts, people who are half-nots.
You were not as tough as.
Don't wanna test your luck with me, I think I've had enough disease. I'm sick of all the bad thoughts, people who are half-nots, who are not as tough as me. Don't wanna test your luck with me, I think I've had enough disease. I'm sick of all the bad thoughts, people who are half-nots, who are not as tough as me.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back into game number 3, tied 1-1 here, Unchained versus the Sugar Babies. KingFsher back here with Anthony on the desk. And Anthony, are there any changes we want to see out of Unchained's draft going into this game too?
It's funny, in the beginning of the game, we were talking about how much we liked Unchained's late game fights, but that just never even came around. So I think I want to see a bit more balance, but in particular, if I had to pick out two things I want to see a more impactful mid lane choice, and I think I'd like to see a bit more, even if the Cupid gets picked again, I just want to see some more from it.
Yeah, definitely. I think late game they would have done very well, but problem is you do have to get to that late game. I'm a little bit surprised by the bans, again going back to the Lancelot, the Cabrakan, and Yu Huang. I think it was the exact same three.
It was.
Game 1, over banning out something like this Neja or something like the Charybdis, which both I think had huge impacts.
Yeah, the mental depress, I don't think he could have locked in that Naja any faster.
Yeah, gotta love it. And I do like them taking Atlas away here. I think Atlas is a really good support. You said it last time, not picked a whole ton, but definitely one of the stronger ones. And the Wheelix. I guess they did ban it last time, so it must have been a target ban. But yeah, not sure how that picks. Neither of these two characters have a leap, so might be relying on some more knockouts.
And we have a Chernobog getting locked in, so definitely a different team comp coming out. I gotta say, so far it's intriguing me.
Yeah, as biased as I am towards Chernobog, not really liking him, gotta respect the global ultimate. I think one of the problems
Always.
we kind of identified last game were they were rotating a little bit slowly, not having as much impact on the map. That is definitely going to fix it. True global, I think Dragonlordcat will really be able to get around this map and turn a lot of fights.
Yeah, and it's just like I said, it's not that I think the Cupid pick was bad necessarily, but I definitely felt that it was just getting outmatched by the Charybdis at times in those fights, where it was, by the time that Neja was able to pick up the kill on Cupid hadn't really done anything other than drop Fields of Love to begin with, so.
Yeah, and Chernobog also a little bit of a safer hunter, I think. A lot of CC immunity, both inside the walls and able to get up into the air. Now, waiting on this last pick, if I am Sugar Babies here, it has to be Scylla. And it's not going to be Scylla. Hover to Hoyi. I think they have to ban Scylla out here in the phase.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm 100% on board with you. If you're not going to take away the Naja, then you need to take away the Scylla. You cannot let both go the way of Sugar Babies again, because you know exactly how that's going to end for you.
Yeah, and they do get the Hou Yi here. I think we talked about it a little bit last game. Really good, really aggressive hunter with another big teamfight ultimate. I think if there's one thing that was lacking from Sugar Babies last time, it was that, but the Hou Yi from Nico should definitely help to close that gap. And the Cthulhu ban, the respect ban onto Warmapplpie.
Yeah, and we did talk about it towards the end there. That was pretty much the strength of Unchained, was that Cthulhu. That was the thing that was making them seem like they had the biggest chance in the game.
Yeah, it definitely was. I think not necessarily any solo laner, but just any god that can disrupt a team that easily with one push of a button is a great god in my book, so glad to see them take it off here. And the Ganesh ban. I don't know how impactful the Ganesh was last game, but do you think it'd be better with this Hou Yi? I'd imagine that'd be a really hard duo lane to go up against.
Yeah, there would have been a lot of pressure coming out early, and I really like the Hou Yi because Nico showed last game to be impactful on that Charybdis, but a lot of the impact came from the survivability and the poking out of the Cupid. So on this Hou Yi, I expect a bit more to see a bit more impact plays coming from Nico that could make some serious differences as the Ymir gets locked in. Oh, I'm tingling.
And I really like this Ymir pick. Chernabog isn't going to be able to run, and Atlas isn't going to be able to run. So the duo lane is going to have to play really carefully in that jungle. That's where we saw Steel get picked off as that Ganesh a few times, overextending, trying to put up wards, maybe get an eye on XP camps, and paid the price when Mental Depress rotated in with that Neja. Now this Ymir really going to lock that Atlas down if he's not careful.
Yeah, and like you're talking about with the Ganesh getting into that weird positioning last game, I just want to see it be treated different. I want to see better positioning. I want to see more emphasis on farming. But you know what I did notice?
What did you notice?
I don't see a Scylla ban.
Oh no, I was talking about that and I forgot. Okay, yeah, the Scylla, even if you're not a Scylla lover, you cannot ignore the impact that Soulzc had on that Scylla. 8 kills, 0 deaths, and he hit a reset on almost every single one of his ultimates.
Yeah,
Really
and there could be other picks there. I'm not saying there isn't. I'm just simply saying that Scylla was a huge difference maker, like you said.
Yeah, I think I probably would have liked to see that slotted in for something like the Yu Huang, especially with his recent power nerfs. I think definitely doesn't have as much glass cannon ability as Scylla does. I think that was one of the problems. I think a couple times you were saying in those fights, the people were dead before the fight even began. Scylla just has that much damage.
As we see the Hera get locked in.
And I think this Hera is a mixed bag. I personally like Hera a lot, but I think it's going to go really well with this team. Because like we said last game, a couple of their problems in team fights were losing members early, losing a little bit of pressure. Argus is really going to help make up for that. I think people often overlook Argus. It's basically like having another player on your team. It is hard to kill, it keeps coming, and CC really doesn't do a lot to stop it.
Yeah, I know a lot of the SDL community has been playing Overwatch 2 lately, so I guess we're going to see a lot of Bob this game.
Oh, I love Overwatch 2. I'm so glad you mentioned that. And a Sun Wukong to end it out, that is vastly different.
Followed by a Merlin, leaving the Scylla on the table.
Yeah, I'm not so sure how I like that. I think Merlin is a great pick. So is Scylla, but he did so good on that Scylla. It's kind of weird to see them moving away from it, but I think mechanically definitely good enough to play Merlin. Did not miss much on that Scylla.
Absolutely. And with that, we are going to be right back. We'll see you in the game.
make a change, rearrange all the bad to okay. Take the worst thoughts saying, turn them to a game. Take the best thoughts saying, put them on display, on repeat in your brain till you're feeling no more pain. Never slow yourself down, you can do some more. Push past all the pain and you'll find a door. Open it up and finally explore everything that you thought you could never do before. And even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 go. Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 yeah, go, go, go. Hustle hard, hustle every single day. I'll be making moves till I'm buried in my grave. To the system, I don't wanna be a slave. I've been doing shit my way, or the highway. And in the driveway is a nice range. Cause I grind through the climb, I invite pain. You'll never hear me, bitch, nah, I don't complain. Just gotta flip the switch and you can go and obtain anything you want, anything you need. Your mind's got the key ingredient, it's belief. They'll deceive with the negativity, but I just slide right by that energy. Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 go. You got a mind, but even that could change. You could flip the gray matter like some batter in your brain. That's why I say, fake it till you make it A. And if you play that game, then you just might make a change. Rearrange all the bad to okay. Take the worst thoughts saying, turn them to a game. Take the best thoughts saying, put them on display, on repeat in your brain till you're feeling no more pain. Never slow yourself down, you can do some more. Push past all the pain and you'll find a door. Open it up and finally explore everything that you thought you could never do before. And even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 go.
Hello. Guess what? It's game 3. I'm Anthony. We've got Unchained, Sugar Babies, and KingFsher.
Ooh, I definitely like that KingFsher part. Now looking here into game 3, a really different look at the draft here from Unchained. Do you think this is going to benefit them early, or is it going to hurt them more late?
I like this draft a lot better. I will say I'm not gigantic on the Hera, personal preference, but overall, if you compare this to the last game, night and day difference, I think.
Yeah, it definitely should be. I think maybe looks like a little bit worse team fighting comp, but I think that's just because their first one was so strong if they got the chance to play it correctly. Right now, the only thing I can kind of fault them for is this Sun Wukong, the build. Bluestone got nerfed recently, and Soul Eater got a slight nerf, less lifesteal and more stacks. So a little bit of an indirect build to, or nerf to that build path. So Warmapplpie is going to have to be careful how he plays this one. He's going to be feeling a little less powerful than normal.
You don't want to go into solo lane with a hand tie behind your back.
Definitely not. Don't even want to go into solo lane with one hand. They're just going to absolutely smack you there. This Atlas getting really aggressive here.
Yeah, much more boxing early on here in the dual lane than we saw last time. They kind of just went their separate ways, but they were really toughing it out there. But the advantage is going to go the way of Sugar Babies, and we've got some action in the solo lane, just like last game, like you were talking about, where the junglers show up early on.
Yeah, and I think what's going to be different about this solo lane, this Sun Wukong pick, is going to allow Applpie to be a lot more aggressive than he was with that Cthulhu. So Trollacademy good, but maybe less of a break. Ymir dropping low.
Yeah, a lot of damage on Ymir. Not quite enough to kill. Looks like Chernobog's more focused on the wave, but Guan Yu and Neja are focused on getting kills, but I don't know if they're going to be able to clean it up. Awilix backed off at the perfect time, and it was going to save the Awilix's life.
Yeah, good recognition there from Giant Dog, not trying to press it too far. I do like that, especially early. I find junglers sometimes could kind of overestimate what they can do, so definitely nice to see them back off when they need to, not take any unnecessary risks.
Yeah, for sure, and you never like an arena game.
You don't. Arena is a bad game mode. I've said it. I'm not going to take that back. Maybe it's my opinion. But whenever I see people play a conquest like Arena, it kills me a little bit, so I do like that they're playing this one safer.
Just a reminder here, while we have a small lull in action, it is tied 1-1. The first game was a forfeit due to time constraints, but we're tied back up, and for this game, nothing matters. It's a winner take all.
Yeah, a little bit different stakes from first game. Maybe Unchained testing the waters
There's
a little
the wall,
bit.
the stun's gonna hit. Not quite enough to kill. We did see... We saw Atlas barely get away there.
Yeah, we did. And it's a little bit odd because I think Atlas is a really strong Guardian early game. I think a lot of them kind of come into their own late game. But I guess against a Ymir, nobody's an early game Guardian. He is so good. And Dracull, I think, also is very good on this pick.
Yeah, and you know, we're still in the early parts of the season. This is the first time we're getting to see anything, really. But you can already start to see a lot of personality from the players. In last game, something I want to talk about and point out is we saw Nico survive just about everything that came their way.
Yeah, and I think that was one of the big game changers early games because a couple times you saw him not really get caught out, but kind of get collapsed upon by the enemy team. And both times he was able to extend his life for so long that the team was able to rotate to him and swing it into a win for Sugar Babies. I think really can get overlooked insanely easily.
Yeah, and that reminds me of that fight we saw at the purple buff last game. And in that fight, one of the biggest detrimental moments that came in the way of Unchained was they kind of just separated during the team fight. There was sort of two mini fights going on either side of the wall over in dual lane. If you're Unchained, how are you restructuring your approach to try to change that up, as we do see some aggression coming on, and they'll retreat to the safety of their tower?
You know, if I'm them, the one change I'm making, and I see a lot of teams struggle with this early in the season, I don't think it's exclusive to them, but the first time you play under somebody, especially in IGL, when you just have one person calling the shots, it's really weird to get used to, especially when you haven't known the players for a long time. So maybe just a little bit of growing pains here, but the more time they have to adjust and the more they grow to trust their captain, I think the better this team will be. And beads from the Hera, not sure if she needed to use those, but doesn't want to die early.
Atlas getting pushed, but the dash is going to get away from the wall of damage of Ymir.
Yeah, good job by Atlas, not dying early there and saving the shield. Don't like to see panic bubbles, and we're not going to see one here.
No, but yeah, the purification beats in the mid lane last game, we kept talking about it. It was a game changer on 2 or 3 different occasions where it being up versus not up for Scooby was a difference of life or death in those team fights because there was a lot of pressure coming his way.
Yeah, and I think luckily for Scooby did have to burn the beads early, but Hera has a really nice shield, she has a polymorph, a little bit of self-peel, and Argus, I think, an insanely underrated ultimate. If anybody dives her, I think except the Neja can CC lock her for so long that won't get to drop that Argus. Anybody else tries it, they are going to take a significant amount of damage.
Absolutely, and much more passive so far here in the early going compared to what we saw last game. As I say that, a bit of damage on the Hera in the mid lane, but she's to the safety of a Awilix and her tower, so she's going to go ahead and back. But yeah, just last game at this point, I felt like we were already watching a heavyweight boxing match.
Yeah, and I think one of the places we were really seeing that was over in duo lane, because I think just like last game, Dracull rotated out before Steel did, and we saw a lot more aggression coming over here in the duo lane from Steel. I think that's where Unchained overstepped a little bit, But this time, playing a lot more conservative, learn from past mistakes, not trying to take so many early battles. Speaking of, though, is trying to gank the Hou-Yi, but with the team on the Scorpion, should be pretty safe. And I do like seeing that Scorpion call from Sugar Babies.
Yeah, and you know, the rotations from jungle last time were also more aggressive. So just kind of overall a more passive vibe to this game. And you can even see that in the boxing coming out here in the duel lane between the ADCs. Atlas is going to show up, and there's some rumbling in the jungle here as we do see 4 members of Unchained coming over. But Hou-Yi looks like he's going to get to his tower just in time.
Yeah, and a little bit odd rotation. I don't think Hou-Yi was in any real danger. They were pretty close to his tower. My question is, what are they going to do from here? They drag the mid laner away, they drag the jungle away. They're letting up some pretty precious XP there. But I think they gotta make a little something out of it for that rotation.
Yeah, for sure. If you're going to commit a team movement like that, if you're going to migrate across the map, then you need to have a backup goal. You need to say, okay, we couldn't pick up the kill. Let's invade their jungle. Jungle empty. Okay, let's back up. Maybe pick up some oracles. See if we can sneak a gold here. I don't like the idea of heading all the way over and heading back, but really gaining nothing from it.
Good play by that Awilix to go. Oh, wow.
The Chernobog's going to come in, and Neja's down to half, but responds with the ultimate just in time. Will that be enough to save? Hou-Yi ult's waiting at the bottom. A lot of damage. There's the death of Awilix from Nico, and Neja, Hou-Yi are getting away, and now Hera finds herself on the back foot. Hou-Yi jumps into the wall. The Merlin's going to pick up the kill. Hou-Yi wasn't needed, and now Atlas finds himself in harm's way. The blink from Neja, Sash misses. Double kill for Nico. Chernobog's trying to find somewhere to escape to. Team's still chasing. Neja's going to think better of it. They're going to turn their looks to the Gold Fury.
And you know, I think that Neja saved Chernobog's life when Fire wheels him up out of Hou-Yi's 9 Suns. Unfortunate there, but should get a really early Gold Fury. And that's a callback to Game 1. Again, we see this Unchained team overcommit really early. Maybe just got unlucky. I mean, that was an aggressive Chernobog ultimate, and they really put a lot in there to bail him out.
Yeah, and you know, it almost went their way, but the strong response from that Neja was a huge, huge save. But I gotta say, the Hou-Yi communication that you pointed out, that's something maybe to watch for later in the game. Because right now, in a fight like that, it might seem like nothing. But later on in the game, that can be a serious difference on damage that could allow for people to survive.
Yeah, and I think more so than that, just taking the jungler out of the equation for as long as Neja does, I think it's one of the very few drawbacks about that character. Sure, the ultimate's really good, you get protections, you take someone out of the fight, but you could do a lot on that pick. You can provide for your team really well, and not having that can really hurt some of these teams.
For sure. And I will say that, you know, it's still early on, but we were talking a lot about we wanted to see better team fighting from Unchained, and I hope that that fight was just we'll say that that was just to do with the rush in from the Chernobog, but I really want to see just a tighter fight.
Yeah, and I think luckily for them, it is only one fight, and a 7-minute Gold Fury, it's a pretty big gold swing, but I don't think there's a lot of map pressure that really comes to that. So I don't think they're going to be punished too harshly compared to what they would be at like 15 minutes. Where it's going to be towers, it's going to be buff invades. They lost 1 minion on a perfect hand, and that's about it.
Exactly, and I could be wrong in the times, but I think 15 minutes last game, we were already starting to push up to that 10k gold difference, and it was getting pretty significant. So far, looking in a better spot overall, if not an amazing spot.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, 4k gold down at 10 minutes definitely doesn't feel good, but last game it was about 10k down at 15 minutes. So, I mean, improvements where improvements can be made. And now we see this Guan Yu straying out a solo lane. The solo laners did not do this for a long time last time, and Chernobog might die? No? Ooh.
Backed away at the perfect time, and I don't know if I like pushing up in this wave, because I think last game we learned that Nico loves pushing out. DLC, as I say that to jump on, the stun, and it's the solo for Nico on DLC.
Yeah, I got really confused at first that Hou-Yi didn't just drop his ultimate on the Chernobog and kill him, but I guess saving it, and now is going to go back to base as we see pressure on the Pyromancer. Maybe a little early for that. I think the ADC is missing, going to kind of freeze that. Ooh, good play from Ymir if he can steal the
Double
Scorpion.
freeze, followed up by the ultimate, and he's going to secure the Scorpion. And tough miss for Naja, and Atlas is going to be able to get away.
Yeah, rough break there from Naja, misses the blink and the ult, and Awilix late on the beats. Ooh,
And
good
jumps
blink,
through the wall. The perfect time getting away from that. Sun Wukong finds himself up. There's the ultimate just in time to get some health back. Guan Yu, though, is going to aggress onto the Hera. Purification beads coming out from Hera. Here's the Ho Yi. The ultimate comes out. Everybody's still getting away so far, though. But Ho Yi gets for the ricochet. Not going to do too much damage.
Yeah, and I think that's where maybe a little bit more of the miscommunication comes into play. I mean, we saw Hera and Sun Wukong go back in right as Atlas and Awilix were leaving. And also, the Chernobog, who I expected to see a lot more presence globally, didn't try to ult over, but should be able to take a tower 1 there on the left if he keeps extending this Ho Yi deep into enemy jungle.
And almost hit a beautiful ricochet on the Awilix, getting away by the skin of her tiger's teeth. Leopard, whatever it is, it's a cat. And Naja finds himself in enemy territory, and that's going to be the death on Mental Depressed. And Chernobog's going to fly in onto the Merlin, but Merlin's responding with damage of his own. Awilix takes up Ho Yi in the back. Ultimate on the Ho Yi. Atlas arrives. Ho Yi's going to jump away, and everybody somehow is going to survive the 2 separate fights here.
Yeah.
Sun Wukong rolls up on the Ho Yi, though. He's not out yet. No jump this time. DLC picks up the kill onto Nico. And Ymir's just going to have to walk away after watching his ADC die.
Yeah, and good turnaround there from Unchained. They get 2 kills. But I mean, that it came about a minute late. Now the Pyromancer is wiped. They've taken their Scorpion. Not much they can do. I guess they're going to settle for the Oracles. And Oni Fury's coming up. This is going to be a really important one. Like we said last game, this was around the time, still a little bit down the line, that we started seeing Sugar Babies kind of press their advantage. They already have a Trebuchet waiting. If they get Oni minions, it's going to be really bad early news here for Unchained.
Yeah, and you know, something that I noticed in that fight that, you know, was kind of hard to miss. I'm not huge on that last death there by Mental Depressed. The positioning and the dive of the tower was just, it kind of felt needless. I don't want to chalk it up to confidence, but I think going forward, that's something that they should probably rework in their plans, is take your victories and, like they did, get the Pyromancer, but then get back to what you're doing. Don't chase those fights further than you need to.
Yeah, maybe still riding the highs of last game. It's hard not to when you get that convincing of a win. But every game is a new game, so definitely got to see them readjust here.
The pull from Awilix onto Ymir. He's going to respond with an ultimate of his own. And that ultimate is the difference for Ymir. He's going to be able to back away. And trading Ymir ult for Awilix ult, I think I'll take that.
Yeah, I would too. And I do like to see Unchained, again, did not overcommit on that one. I expected to see a Hera ult and an Atlas ult come flying in. Awilix has to.
Awilix beads gets caught at the mid Harpies. And I gotta say, I'm not sure I like going for those mid Harpies to that health, if for no other reason, costing you that purification beads. That's so valuable here, especially with the CC heavy comp going the way of Sugar Babies.
Yeah, it definitely is. And without her ultimate too, Awilix is going to have to be extremely careful how they play this one. Now Sugar Babies, again, we kind of commented on it last time, sticking around past when they should have. I don't think they've really overextended yet, but I'm not sure what they're looking for. With that Trebuchet pushing right, I'd expect this to be a really good time to go for Onis, try and draw attention away.
Nice Ymir wall catches the bird, and now they're stuck with nowhere to go, but they are quite tanky, and that damage is going to be thrown right back onto Ymir. He's trying to get away about a quarter health. Gets beyond the confines of the Pyromancer wall just in time to save himself from the damage, but Hera took quite a bit of damage too in that fight.
Yeah, I'm surprised Unchained didn't go in a little bit harder there. They had a 4-on-2 for about 5 seconds, but nothing ventured, nothing gained.
Sun Wukong survives with the ultimate.
Yeah, he should. Now this duo going on in duo lane. This Chernobog dies, it could be really detrimental.
It is. Here's the jump. Purification beat slightly early. It works out anyway as the ricochet is going to miss, but there's still some dancing to do. NykoMaster with the second solo pickup onto DLC over in the duo lane.
And as soon as that happens, we are going to see the Oni Fury call. And if I'm Unchained, I really don't think you can do anything to stop him. Without that Atlas ult, we're really about the only type of secure they have on this team.
Yeah, and we did point out that that Ho Yi could be impactful because we saw last game there was a lot of pressure in duo lane. Every time we pan the camera over, it looked like Nico was looking for those 1v1 engagements, but the survivability was slightly stronger on the Cupid, if only because we didn't see any solos last time. But something to keep an eye on for the rest of this game is that Ho Yi starting to get a little bit ahead now.
Yeah, maybe overestimating the damage he had on his Executioner. It's a really good item, but going up against another tier 2 item, I don't believe he had the full Kinzai's in that 1v1. But still, very strong to have that. I believe it's 20% attack speed on the tier 2. I could be wrong about that, don't quote me.
And you know, as we're at 16 minutes, I realize we haven't talked a whole lot about builds this game, because right as we started talking about the lack of fights, there was fights. So are you seeing anything interesting build-wise so far?
I think it's pretty similar to last game. The only thing I think I'm surprised by is the solo lane build for the Sun Wukong. I think I mentioned it really early, but he's built now into 3 items that got decent nerfs.
All of a sudden, Neja's low from a Wheelix, gonna take him up into the air, and that's gonna be enough to get him away, and now a Wheelix finds herself having to retreat. And Nico's gonna swarm in from the back and pick up the double kill with the Reigning Suns! What an impressive rotation by Nico, somehow beating the Chernobog there. But now the Chernobog's aggressing onto the Ho Yi. Ho Yi's gonna dash away, but Atlas is on the case. Ho Yi's gonna have to Purification Aegis. Still looking. Here comes reinforcements from the Sugar Babies trying to get their Ho Yi out of there alive. Sun Wukong's looking for pressure. Ho Yi down to about a quarter health, but he's still not dead. Trollacadimy picks up the kill onto Warmapplpie, and now the aggression goes the way of Sugar Babies, and they're chasing Unchained back below their tower, and once again, Nico survives!
Yeah, and just when I thought Unchained looking a lot more disciplined in team fights, they do overextend on that one. To be fair, insane play by Nico, diving in the back and getting those first 2 kills. Probably should have cut their losses there, but now they opened the door to this Fire Giant. And I don't even know if they think it or know what's happening. No wards on that right side from Unchained.
Yeah, Wheelix just doing the camp back there, and all of a sudden, Sugar Babies picks up the Fire Giant at 17 minutes.
Yeah, and now this is the only thing I like to see with Fire Giants. I know a few of my friends talk about this. The biggest problem I see with early Fire Giants is teams not doing enough with it. There's only 1 tower off the board right now from Unchained. If I'm Sugar Babies, I want all the tier 1s to be gone, and I'd imagine most of the tier 2s, by the time this Fire Giant wears off, jeez, they have such an advantage right now, and they really got to press it here. They're going to press it right onto Chernobog. He is not ready, but he should get the back off.
Yeah, wars, wears, who cares? Chernobog has got to find his way out of dodges. They're just clearing up the jungle, and here comes the TP onto tier 1. Surely that'll be enough to get Chernobog to go away, but he still hasn't backed. Najan Company is coming in fast. Chernobog is not going to get the back off. There's the sash, and DLC finds himself dead in the dual lane. Now the attention turns to Sun Wukong.
Yep, and this should be the last tier 1 tower off the map. Indeed it is, and I want to see them push down this tier 2. We got another 30 seconds on DLC, and Sun Wukong about to die as well.
Here comes the Guan Yu ultimate. Hera finds herself trapped in it. Atlas is stuck in the back. Hera's down to 1 HP. There's the bubble. Doesn't matter. Nico gets the kill. Dracull gets the kill. And now Sun Wukong and a Wheelix versus the world trying to defend this tier 2. They're going to think better of it and just back away to their Phoenix.
Yeah, smart call by them, staying alive, and that will be the first tier 2 tower to fall. Now, I don't want to see them overextend and go for this Phoenix, but do you think they're safe to try for this tier 2 tower in mid? I think they're going to go for it.
I think that the smart play here would be to take this tier 2, maybe look at clearing the camps over in solo lane and see if you can get that tier 2 in solo lane as well, but overall, this Fire Giant power play was such a victory for Sugar Babies.
Yeah, I think it might be a little foolish if they try to go for this last tier 2. They're at a pretty big ult disadvantage, and man count about even. I think we are just going to see him clear out XP camps unless Sun Wukong gets cut out here. He might.
Yeah, Sun Wukong is not in the best spot. A Wheelix is backing, so there will be no support, and they do look for the tier 2, much to the demise of KingFsher's game plans, and I think they might be able to get away with it.
Well, this is the reason KingFsher is not a captain, so I don't have to make those calls. I'm not bet at him. But we'll get away safely. I'm a little surprised we didn't see Unchained try to put up a defense there. Maybe not quite knowing how many more ultimates they had than Sugar Babies, but the result is still the same. There are no towers standing for Unchained. It took them 3 minutes to wipe them off the board.
Absolutely. Don't worry, Fish. I'd play on your team any day. But now with no towers left, and Phoenix is only 2 to 12, quite a significant, almost 12,000 gold lead. Things are looking tough for Unchained. Can they do anything to turn this around?
You know, it's kind of hard to say. I think the biggest glaring issue that they have right now is that they don't have much secure. They have an Atlas ult. That's about it. They don't
As it
have
comes
the
on to the
weapons.
Primal Fury, but Sugar Babies will get the secure, and now they're looking to aggress.
But yeah, they're not high enough level to really contest. They need some strong, big damage abilities, kind of keep them in this one, and they just don't have it with this draft. And this Phoenix is gonna fall. That Sun Wukong needs to get back right now.
Absolutely, and you can see it on the damage charts. There has been a significant difference in damage here between Sugar Babies and Unchained as we look at this base siege for the Phoenix. And here they come. Guan Yu leads the way on his horsey. He's going to get a double stun in the back on a Cherno and a Wheelix, but the attention for the rest of his team is on Sun Wukong, who's already down to health. But it doesn't matter. Guan Yu doesn't need the help. Nico picks up the kill into Warmapplpie. Guan Yu still aggressing in the back. Ymir's here for some backup. Chernobog escaping. Harris down low. Nico gets a double kill. Cherno gets back underneath his fountain. Trollacadimy taking the potential penta away from Nico. Nico gets a triple. They're turning their attention to the Titan, and it's only Chernobog left standing.
Yeah, that should be game number 3 set and match for Sugar Babies as they take this one 2-1, 22 minutes on the dot, and that is some commanding wins we saw out of the Chaos side team.
They would not be stopped by the game 1 forfeit. They got home, they got on, and they showed up. Sugar Babies manages to pull out the victory. What an impressive performance there from pretty much everybody.
Yeah, I really can't find any flaws with their gameplay. They played extremely well, extremely coordinated. I think all their players mechanically looking very, very sound. We saw few, if any, misplays. Definitely not any technical misplays, I don't think. Not many missed shots from them.
Absolutely. That was impressive. So really quick, take me through what were the difference makers in your eyes that time, Fish?
I think, again, letting NykoMaster get comfortable and letting him run team fights. We saw it game 1 on Charybdis. Just didn't have enough dive on the Sun Wukong instead of the Cthulhu this time. Not as much disruption. Giant Dog on the Awelix was very, very underleveled. Didn't really have any opportunities to get it in there. Kind of just let Soulzc and Nico freecast a little bit, which can't happen if you want to win a game.
Yeah, for sure. And, you know, I don't want it to seem like we're dogging on Unchained too much. But there were positives. There were some things that they can easily look at when they go over their performance as a team and try to make some changes. I don't think it's the end of the world. I mean, we're still early on here. But with all that being said, Sugar Babies, Nico, Dracull, Mental Depressed, Troll, Soulzc, everybody, they came to play. And play they did.
Yeah, they really did. And this is going to be a team to look out for in coming weeks. But do you think after a couple other teams see this, if you're this Chaos team, do you change anything up or do you just, it's working, stick with it and hope other teams can't adapt?
If I'm Sugar Babies, I'm looking at this performance and I'm saying our game plan, it worked. But what we learned from our game plan and its execution is that we have a very strong ADC. We have a very strong mid that we can play around. And the setup from our jungle isn't half bad either. So in future game plans, I'm building around Soulzc and Nico with the setup from Mental Depressed. And I'm seeing how far I can take that because it worked here.
It definitely did. And on the flip side, I think despite all around, I think it was a kind of rough game, but not really much to get down on, I think. Like we've been saying, it's week 1, they have a new member, and I think this team is only going to get stronger as time moves on. I think some of their picks looked really good at certain times, and their early game aggression, I like it. If they can hone it in and make sure they cut down on the early deaths, they're also going to be a team to contend with.
Absolutely. And what an amazing first set we had. Despite the forfeit, it didn't matter. What a set we got here for our opening game. And I gotta say, I'm excited for the rest of the season. I can't wait.
Yeah, I am too. And before we do send it out completely, everybody make sure you come back tomorrow as we do have 2 premier matchups. Kingslayer and Dark Omen at 7 p.m. Eastern, and Wrath of Terra versus Wild Inferno at 3 p.m. But this was week number 1 of the Challenger League. Anthony, anything else to say before we send it out?
Just a big thank you for showing up. A big thank you to the competitors, because without the competitors, I mean, you're watching me play Khepri in jungle practice. So
No, nobody wants that.
no, not at all. But thank you for watching week 1. Be sure to tune in tomorrow and tell them Anthony and Fish sent you, and send kisses their way. You don't like the kisses?
I thought that would be the perfect way to end it, but I guess this is a bit
No.
more genuine. That being said, though, thank you everybody so much for tuning into week 1, and we will see you right back here tomorrow.